Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Oneill Hyperfreak range of wetsuits for summer 2016. So the Oneill Hyperfreak's been around for a few years now, and basically the principle of the suit was to be a high performance, very flexible wetsuit, stripped down so there's not too much weight and sort of heaviness to the suit, to allow maximum movement and allow maximum flexibility in the water. So it's their version of a high performance wetsuit. It's sort of changed over the last few years. The last winter just gone, the Hyperfreak wasn't available in a chest zip wetsuit. It was only in the zipperless style wetsuit, which is basically something people didn't respond fantastically. People did like the zipperless Hyperfreak, but they also wanted to have the chest zip option as well. So now, for the summer 2016, you have got the chest zip wetsuit back in the series, along with a short sleeve 2mm wetsuit, and also you've still got the Hyperfreak Comp, which is the zipperless wetsuit, which has got the zip-free entry, which will take you through as well. In principle, the wetsuits are the same, but obviously just a slight difference in terms of the entry with the zipperless wetsuit and also the material. Okay, so I'll run through that with you in a second. As I say, the Hyperfreak has always been a suit which is all about performance, being extremely really lightweight and flexible in the water, which is great in winter, but obviously even better in summer when you're looking to have as much freedom as possible and catch loads of waves in the warmer water. The suit weight then, so the thickness of the suit is 3.2 on the full wetsuits that we do, 3mm on the lower body, 2mm on the upper body where you need more flexibility. The short sleeve wetsuit is 2mm all over, and the zip free suit is 3.2 as well. So 3mm in the sort of front panel the whole way down. And you will notice that there's no smooth skin on this wetsuit, front or back, and the idea of that being that it's just double lined the whole way through, minimum panelling, which will allow more freedom and flex throughout the wetsuit. So obviously if you interrupt that with a smooth skin panel, that is going to create more seams, which in turn creates more restriction. So one big piece of neoprene the whole way down the front, which will just allow maximum movement through the front of the suit. The suit is fully sealed, which means that it's glued and line stitched, which essentially means that the seams are stitched halfway through, and on the other side they are then glued halfway through, just to make sure that no water penetrates the seam. So it's going to do a lot in terms of comfort against your skin, but also keeping you warmer and in the water for longer. This is the chest zip version, and basically it just works as normal chest zips do, zipping across the front of the suit here, up and over the head, and a little toggle here which you can clip down. It's got a waterproof zip. Any water that does come through, the chest entry system is actually met with the wetsuit itself. So if water creeps in through here or through the collar and the wetsuit, the actual wetsuit itself comes up nice and high, which will then guide the water back out through the side of the chest zip, or around the back. You've got a little drain hole here as well, which will just take water out of the chest zip area and keep the suit nice and dry on the inside, and keep water out of that sort of chest entry system. So that's essentially how it works. It goes up and over the existing wetsuit itself, and then zips across the front. Then you've got the little clip there with a waterproof zip, and then you've got the toggle just to fasten it to create a better seal against your shoulder. That's how the chest zip system works. With the zip-free system, we'll walk you through that in a second. But essentially, that's the seams. The actual material is the key thing with the Hyperfreak. So the material within this wetsuit is what Oneill call the Techno 2, which is their newest version of the Techno neoprene. It's a super stretch neoprene, and what that means, it's got a huge amount of air within the rubber, giving it a massive amount of flexibility and also insulating properties, because all those little bubbles inside the rubber itself are going to trap warm air and in turn keep you insulated and warm. But the biggest sort of difference between this and standard neoprene is the actual jersey, which is the lining over the top of the rubber. That is what we call the Techno and that's used in some of the rash vests they do as well. And you might be able to, if I come close, see that sort of sort of squaring across there. And basically what they've done is they've reduced a massive amount of the cotton used in the lycra jersey over the top of the rubber. And what that does is makes the suit very noticeably light. Very, very lightweight, but also there's less absorption of water, which means it will dry a lot quicker as well. So it dries a lot quicker, and it's a lot lighter in your hands. So it's pretty much the lightest 3.2 full suit that you can get. And they do that by obviously a combination of lack of seams, so less stitching weighing the suit down, but mostly it's the actual jersey over the top of the rubber. And that's inside and out. The Techno Butter 2, you might be asking what the difference is between 1 and 2. The Techno Butter 2 is less prone to Velcro sticking against, which creates less baubbling, but also is less likely to trap sand on the inside of the suit as well. So not much of a modification, but noticeable for some people. Further down the suit, you've got the Duraflex knee pads, which is a hard-wearing material pretty much used by most wetsuit companies now, just to reinforce the knees to make sure that there's no wear and tear on the knees, which is a really sort of prone spot to wearing through. Then, if we turn around the back of the suit, you can see the drain hole again. Panelling slightly different. They've just got that lumbar panel there, which is basically in a downward diagonal movement, which will give you sort of lots of three-way, four-way stretch properties throughout the back of the suit where you're arching your back or whatever you're doing. Allowing again for minimal restriction. So that's essentially the suit. There's no thermal lining or anything inside the suit, so there may be warmer 3.2s, but if you're looking for an unrestricted wetsuit, then this is definitely the avenue to go down. The Hyperfreak's really popular for that reason. The 2mm suit is essentially the same thing as the 3, but obviously just a bit thinner. But the zip-free suit has got a slight difference. So in terms of the actual shape or the construction of the suit, the panelling and everything, it's very similar to the chest entry suit, but what you will notice is there is a sort of like a smooth sheen to this Techno Butter, to this actual wetsuit, which you do get on the normal Hyperfreak, but only on the inside. And basically it's an untreated lycra, so whatever they do to treat the lycra, you lose that sort of sheen basically on the outside of the wetsuit. With this one they have retained that, and so it gives you more of a smoother, softer texture on the outside of the suit, which will be the same on the inside as well. Benefits of that are kind of not sure, but I did ask the guys from Oneill, and they did say they've TOG tested, which basically tested the heat loss through material, which you do similar to sort of duvets, that kind of thing, and they found that the zip-free Hyperfreak material, so this sort of like shiny stuff, is actually better at insulating than the standard Techno Butter, so that's an interesting point. So basically that's unofficial, but that's just sort of speaking from one of the reps from Oneill, just sort of telling me that off the record. But essentially, yeah, a very warm wetsuit, but not the warmest. But good quality neoprene, which will keep you nice and warm, but it's more about flexibility again. With this particular suit then you've got the zip-free entry, so it's a really simple principle, works in a similar sort of way, but obviously there's no zip breaking the front here, it just goes up and over your head like this, and so you've just got to pull it over the shoulder, and then you just get in through the top here. Okay. Now this might present difficulties to some people. It is naturally going to be less easy, to get in and out of the wetsuit, because you're not able to open it up as wide. But I find what you do is you sort of pull that top part back, and then you just kind of turn it inside out down to the waist, and you can put it on like a standard chest zip, and then up and over your shoulder, up over your head, and then again, if you want to use that toggle on the side of the wetsuit, it is there, and you can just fasten the wetsuit basically however feels comfortable against your shoulder. That elastic will just pull the rubber against the inside of the suit and create a better seal. Roll neck collar on the inside of the wetsuit just creates a better seal against your neck and stops splash throughs, but it works in the same way. Any water that comes into the suit will just be guided out through the back drain hole or through the side of the wetsuit, and you have another hole on the sleeve with both of the suits as well, which is a drain hole which lets water out of the chest system. Okay, so it's essentially the same thing. On the inside of the suit you might have noticed that sort of purple, and that's just the indicator of the Techno Butter 2. Nice and shiny, again, less prone to neoprene, Velcro sticking against it, and traps less sand. And so that goes on the inside, and again, no point in returning the suit inside out because it is pretty much just the same as the outside, stripped down, just neoprene, good quality stitching, minimal panelling. Any seams that are placed on the suit are placed strategically so they don't cause any restriction. And then you've got the zip-free system for ultimate flexibility, so that'll have a bit more of an advantage over and above the chest zip, because obviously when you're arching your back backwards you'll feel less restriction across the chest. But that's essentially the Hyperfreak range for 2016 summer. Nice to have the chest zip option back in the series, but if you're looking for a really lightweight quick drying, flexible wetsuit without spending too much money, then the Hyperfreak is a really good option.